We had an absolutely gorgeous fall day here last Saturday, and I just finished doing the lawn, and I was looking forward to relaxing and enjoying the rest of the afternoon. I like sitting out back there in a lounging chair, my book. The sun's not too hot, there's no flies, the smells in the fall are just beautiful. It's my favorite time. But it was then that my wife came out and said the fridge stopped working. The food has all thawed out. No rest for the wicked. And I didn't do a video of this at the time. I had wasted my afternoon, and we had wasted some food, and I wasn't in my best of moods. And I've just finished the wheel alignment series, and quite frankly, I was kind of videoed out at the time. So this was kind of an interesting fix, so I thought I'd do a bit of a retroactive recap of what went on there. I grabbed this image on Google, and the guy has the very same compressor, same starter, same capacitor that my fridge has. Took the starter unit off the compressor, shook it around, no rattling, no discoloration, it looked okay. I've got a pretty good multimeter here that can measure capacitance, and I measured the capacitance on that. That's a fairly large capacitor. I think it was 12 microfarads. Forget. But it checked out okay. So I put all that stuff back together, and now I'm going for the control board. If you've got this 2 LED push button display, which is quite common on fridges, then you're going to have this particular type of control board behind it. Made by Jazz, big name. You know, we think that we have all these brands of refrigerators. They're all one and the same. They're using the same components. And this particular board is really common across all brands. The first thing I look for is discoloration. You know, does it look like it got hot anywhere? And any resistors that might have blown, or those relays, you know, where the load side, do those connections look like they had trouble? And the board looked pretty good, you know, visually. Then the next thing you look for is these small capacitors. You know, have they got a little bit of a bulge? Is there a dome on the very top, or are the capacitors flat on top, which is what you want, right? And if they are, I mean, they're very easy to change these things on the board, and you go ahead and change the capacitors, you've got a pretty good chance of success. But they looked okay on this board. Now here's the tricky thing that the next step is you really take a really close look at the solder joints to see if there's anything that's cracked. And if I take my glasses off, I can see really good. And I could tell on one resistor that one of the legs on the back, there was a little bit of a sign of a crack on the solder. And on the top, it looked like it was kind of maybe peeled away from the circuit a little bit. Like, we're talking minute here. So I'm already in the kitchen, right, where we've got these split plugs at the counter. And this device that I featured in gadgets number 55 gives me 220 volts, so that this solder sucker can work up to its potential. So I was able to remove the old solder from that one leg on that resistor. And then with my trusty Hakko FX 888D, I love that thing, I was able to resolder that joint. Put it all together, fridge works. So that's a message that I have for all of us do-it-yourselfers. A circuit board is a circuit board is a circuit board. It doesn't matter if it's a fridge, a furnace, or an ABS module. And you should have some soldering skills under your belt. And you've got nothing to lose. If you take a chance, you've got a chance. You guys take care.